Lion and the Sheep. Long ago, a ship was caught in a terrible storm in the middle of the ocean. Many people on the ship died during the storm. The ship was badly damaged and drifted in the ocean for several days without control. The people who survived the storm eventually died from hunger and thirst. At last, the broken ship crashed onto the shore of a small island. On the large ship, only one sheep remained alive. The sheep slowly walked out of the ship. It was very weak and almost dying. With great difficulty, it reached the grassy shore. There, it ate the fresh green grass and filled its stomach. After a few days, the sheep regained its strength. Every day, it grazed in the meadow, and every night, it returned to sleep inside the ship. In the forest of that island lived a huge lion. All the animals on the island feared the lion and obeyed him. One day, the lion went hunting. After catching a prey, he ate until he was full and gave the leftovers to the animals that served him. Then, he walked toward the shore of the island. There, he noticed the ship. Curious, the lion entered the ship and looked around. Inside, he saw the sheep. Since the lion was already full, he did not harm the sheep. Instead, he spared its life and spoke kindly to it. He told the other animals, "This sheep is a lonely and helpless creature. No one should harm it." The lion then made the sheep his throne and began holding meetings there with the other animals. Meanwhile, the sheep slowly became used to the lion. It no longer feared him and sometimes came near him without permission. One day, the lion and his followers went hunting together, but they caught nothing. The next day, the same thing happened, and on the third day, they still failed to catch any prey. Soon, the lion and the other animals became very hungry and weak. The lion's minister and several animals gathered together and decided to kill the sheep. They went to the lion and presented their decision through the minister. But the lion refused. "No," he said, "I cannot break my word. I may die from hunger, but I will not break the promise I made." When their request was rejected, the minister spoke again. "You are right, my king, but your precious body is becoming weak from hunger. For the sake of your health, one servant must be sacrificed. Nothing will really change. Wise people say, the loss suffered by the small is nothing compared to the loss suffered by the great. So if one servant sacrifices itself, the rest can survive. Therefore, eating this sheep would be the most reasonable decision." Finally, the lion agreed. But he could not find any reason to kill the sheep. So he began looking for an excuse. Just at that moment, the poor sheep entered the king's presence. Seeing the opportunity, the lion suddenly pretended to be angry and, "You rude animal! Have you no manners? Don't you know how to behave in front of your king? You keep walking back and forth in front of me. You have even covered my throne with dust." The sheep, confused and innocent, replied, "My just king, please do not joke with me like this. How could there be dust inside a ship that floats on the sea? How could I possibly cover your throne with dust?" The lion was silent for a moment after hearing this unexpected answer. But the lion's minister quickly spoke. "Silence, disrespectful sheep. Are you not ashamed to argue with the king? Is there a greater crime than questioning the valuable words of our ruler?" The poor sheep did not understand what was happening. Suddenly, the fox jumped forward and said, "My lord, his excuse is even worse than his mistake. He deserves a severe punishment." The lion, who had been waiting for an excuse, could no longer control himself. He struck the sheep several times with his paw and knocked it to the ground. People who cannot do something openly will always look for an excuse. Some search for faults, others invent problems. We should never allow such injustice to happen. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more wonderful tales.